In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace these columns that you don't want with columns that you do want without having to back up and start all over again. You've already got a good start because you have your columns on a layer here and you have your roof on a separate layer. So this is going to make use of the fact that you've got this all layered properly. The other thing that you have to your advantage is that you have these things grouped properly, which is going to enable you to select an individual column and pull it in or out of the group that you've already got. So you're pretty well set up here. The first thing that I'm going to do is select the base of one of these columns, and you can see where it appears in the Hypergraph window. And just by middle clicking on the top of that little hierarchy, I'm going to drag it and drop it outside of the hierarchy. I'm going to do the same thing with the capital here. I'm going to go up one level using my up arrow key to get the whole top, and then I'm going to drag it out of the hierarchy. So what this does then is it gives me two column base and capitals there that are outside of this hierarchy. So now I can delete that whole row of columns, but this is going to stay where it is. I'm not ready to do that yet. The next step that I'm going to do is take the roof layer, make that invisible so I don't have to deal with it, and then for the time being I'm going to take the column layer and make that invisible, but you can see that my new objects are outside of that layer. So here's where I'm going to just make a new column. I'm going to select the isoparm here, and I'll select the isoparm here, and go to my surfaces, loft. Now you can of course add detail to this column like you had before. I'm going to just leave it alone for now because that's not the point of this exercise. But what's important here is to delete the construction history, and that's what's going to keep that column section together with the base and the cap, just like we saw in class. So then I'm going to open up the Hypergraph window and take these three objects and group them so that now I have a new start to this column. And we have one group. The next thing I'm going to do is hit the insert key and take the pivot point and move it using the C key for curve snap and my middle mouse button. I'm going to snap this pivot point to the corner of this column, and there's a reason that I want to do this. I'm going to take my column layer and reactivate it, and I'm going to make it a reference layer. I'm going to just click in that middle button until this becomes an R. The reason that I want that to be a reference layer is because I can see these columns. They will shade if I hit the 5 key, but I can't select them. And that's one of the main features of a reference layer. The other feature is that I can use them to snap to, and that's why I wanted to put the pivot point of this column here in the corner, because when I duplicate this, I can then move it using the C key. I can snap it to the corner of the next column and get it exactly where it belongs. Without deselecting anything now, I can hold the Shift key down and hit the D. So Shift D will duplicate with the existing transforms. And I can just Shift D and every single column will snap to the next one. Sorry, looking at the Hypergraph window, we can see that now I have a whole new group of additional columns. I'm going to grab the top node of each of those hierarchies and group that row together. Then hit the Insert key, hold the C key down for curve snap, and snap the pivot of that whole new group to the corner. Once I've done that, I can duplicate the group. That's Control D. Hold the C key down to snap to a curve, and snap that new duplicated group over to the other row right there. And here's the other thing about a a layer here. I can take this column layer, I can right mouse click on it and select all the objects in that layer and then just hit the delete key. Now I've replaced all of my old columns with new columns and then deleted all the old columns.